copy number, message number 30, K8PX. Okay, fine business. Thank you, Ron, for taking the traffic. Real quick again, anybody with formal NTS traffic? Anybody with formal NTS traffic calling out? All right, well, let's continue here. Anybody else with either of the two public repeaters with or without traffic? Call WB8REI. All right, anybody on the pole repeater, 443.625 with or without traffic, call now. Golf 8 November, Alpha Golf 8 November. Hey, good morning, Mark. Alpha Golf 8 November. I have you checked in, Mark. Nice signal. Nice to hear you this morning. Anyone else on the polk repeater? Call now. Stations that might be on the Mansfield repeater if it's up. Anybody on the 443.075 machine with or without traffic? Call now. All right. How about any of the three Berlin Heights repeaters? 146.805, 442.675, or the 6 meter 53.29 repeaters? Call now.
Orange F, NAQQI, Jim, Florence Township. November 8, Foxtrot, Mike Juliet. Good morning. Tom in Perkins Township.
DRX, Scott, Mobile, and Erie County.
November 8, X-Ray, Lima, Quebec, Lenny, Huron City. YouTube's up and running, boss. And good morning. Boss.
Right. Good morning, Jim. NAQQY. I have you. Good signal, by the way. Hi, Tom. N8FMJ. Nice signal, Tom. Dusky this morning. Good morning, Scott. Kilo Echo 8. Victor Oscar X-Ray and your mobile this morning in Erie County. Sound real good, Scott. Thanks for checking in. And good morning, Lenny. N8XLQ. Good signal, Lenny. Lenny says YouTube is up, so take a in there, I'm sure. Good to hear you, Jerry. Good signal from Grafton this morning. Anybody else on the Illyria machine with or without traffic call out? All right, now we'll say anybody anywhere within the sound of my voice that would like to check into the North Central Ohio information. Traffic net call now. All right, well, let's get going here. What a beautiful day today. It's been hot. Air conditioners will be running again today, I'm sure. We'll talk to Dan here in a little while. He'll give us an update on the weather and a bunch of other stuff. Let's take a look at all our solar indices here this morning quickly. Solar terrestrial indices for May 30th, yesterday's date. Solar flux, 162. The estimated planetary A index was 5. The estimated planetary K index at 1200 Universal Coordinated Time, or 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on today's date, May 31st, was 2. Space weather for the past 24 hours has been minor. Radio blackouts reaching the R1 level occurred. No space weather storms are predicted for the next 24 hours. Now, the timestamp on this report is 8:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's usually about the time Jim's listening on the HF radio for the HFTF tickets. So it kind of keeps things in order here with the time. So that was at 12:05 UTC, or 8:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, let's take a look at our space weather. NOAA forecasters, they're the traffic or beacons I had was on 17 meters, and again, that was Hawaii, and all the others were pretty quiet. Back to you, Jeff. KE80RN. Hey, Jim. What time, Jim, were you listening approximately? I always get on there at 8 o'clock. Back to you, KE80RN. Right, so we're learning as we go here. Your DX report, Jim, pretty much lines up with the WWV report, and really lines up with the current ionophon, where the muff right now is 19.2 megahertz. And so, and that was just recent here, just within the last 10 minutes. So the ionosphere didn't change a lot, maybe in the last couple hours, but it'll probably change quickly here as the sun's coming way up. But that lines up since the 20-meter band where you hear the 8 beacons is 14 megahertz, and then you mentioned the 17-meter band, which is 18 megahertz. You heard Hawaii, and right now the muff is at 19.2 megahertz. So things line up. That makes sense. All right, very good. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that. Right, got some interesting stuff going on with tropospheric ducting here in the upcoming forecast. Before we do that, are there any other stations that would like to check in with or without traffic? Anybody that would like a signal report, call now. All right, let's take a look at the tropospheric ducting map. And let's see what we got going on here. So, let's see. Today is May the 31st. Actually, last night, right around the 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Lake Erie, over Lake Erie, you were up along the lake, especially on the western part, you were a moderate to severe to marginal conditions all along Lake Erie, and up in the parts of Michigan and Canada. Continued until the wee hours, actually right on up to, let's see, 5 o'clock this morning. Still really good, what they consider moderate conditions, which is pretty good, over all of Lake Erie, and marginal conditions for a good portion of half of the western part of Ohio. Again, that continued right on up until 8 a.m. this morning. So if anybody was listening on 2 meters up around northeastern Ohio, especially along Lake Erie, I'm sure they would have noticed, or may have noticed, some pretty good VHF conditions. Now it shows, wow, I don't see this very often, portions of very strong to strong conditions for tropospheric ducting in the western part of Lake Erie, and moderate conditions really throughout the rest of the lake, and then down into eastern, northeastern, and eastern parts of Ohio. So there you go. Right now, if you're listening or working any 2-meter simplex or calling CQ, you have anything over the lake would be probably excellent. Hangs in there actually. It pretty much stays over most of the lake there, where you get continued moderate conditions. Stays pretty good there. And then as we get later into the day, like about 4 or 5 p.m., things settle down more to marginal to fair conditions. So again, if you're up along the lake, you got lots of interesting conditions happening there on VHF. Going into later tonight, again, we get to high conditions, especially in the western part of Lake Erie, and really all through the lake into parts of Pennsylvania, into New York. This continues and actually improves drastically as you get into the wee hours, Thursday, June 1st, like 2 a.m. November 8 Lima X-ray Yankee Mobile at North Olmsted. Nice signal. Thank you for checking in. Anyone else? W4 BTJ Whiskey 4 Bravo Tango Juliet. Tim and Bascom. Hey, good morning, Tim. W4 Bravo Tango Juliet. Nice to hear you, Tim. Great signal there from Bascom, Ohio this morning. All right. Let's take a look at our conditions here with amateur radio on the International Space Station. And then, let's see. Yeah, and then we're going to jump over to Dan, and then we're going to catch Bob and get all their reports here this morning, too. So let's see what's happening here this morning. Well, our crossband FM repeater is up and running still on the International Space Station. You transmit on 145.99 with a PL tone of 67, and you receive on 437.800. I got some information, by the way, on satellite working the crossband repeater that I'll talk about here a little later on in the net, since we made a few attempts ourselves here this past weekend. I think some others did too. So I'll talk about that a little more in detail when we get further into the net. Let's take a look at the on-off stuff schedule here. Looks like they got some extravehicular activity targeted for June the 9th, so they're going to shut the radios off on June the 9th at about 3:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Most of us will be sleeping, but if you were up trying to hear it, well, you're not going to hear it. And they'll turn the radios back on June the 10th, and that'll be about 6:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on June the 10th. They're going to power off on June 15th, or excuse me, for some extravehicular activity on June the 15th. So, preparing for that, they're going to actually shut the radios off on June the 14th, and they'll shut them off right about 1:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and they'll be off until June 16th at about 9. Let's see, I'm sure we got that right. Yeah, at about 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And they have some other off periods for future dates that they'll announce later on. And that schedule is also the same for the APRS packet radio, which is on 145.825 megahertz simplex. Matter of fact, I worked quite a bit of APRS this past weekend. That's a pretty neat thing if you've never done it before. Working APRS packets at the International Space Station. All right. No school contact for our area as far as, hearing the astronauts on our radio. So when the schedule shows it, well, I will be sure to announce it here so that you can tune your radio to 145.800 and listen to the astronauts when they're talking to the students. All right, we are going to go to Dan, KCPBU here in just a moment. Before we do, let's check again. Are there any other stations that would like to check in with or without traffic call out? All right, Dan, what do you got for us on this beautiful Wednesday morning? Not sure, Jeff. May have been a double there with you. I just had a question. What do you got for us on this beautiful Wednesday morning? Over to you. Right, yeah, I thought somebody doubled with you. I got a whole bunch of good stuff here. I just usually don't have a whole lot of time here before I get on the air each week, and I had time this morning. I got on Lenny's YouTube Live. That looks really, really cool. And Lenny, I sent you a message on your Yahoo email account with a comment on that. But good job. Looks like you spent a lot of time there. Okay, get around. right into the weather forecast here, and it looks pretty nice.
Thanks, dude.
This afternoon, sunny, high of 88 tonight, mostly clear, low of 64. Wednesday, sunny, high of 88. Wednesday night, mostly clear, low of 63. I like that when these lows are still getting down there in the 60s. That'll go away before it's all over. Thursday, sunny, high of 90. Thursday night, mostly clear, low of 61. Friday, mostly sunny, high of 91. Friday night, partly cloudy, low of 63. Oh, I gotta make just a little adjustment here. Something is not quite going right. Here we go. I think I'm off for Friday night. I believe Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 90. A little trouble with my monitor here. Sorry, guys. Saturday night, mostly clear, low around 62. Sunday, sunny, high of 60. Excuse me, 88. Okay, sorry about all the confusion there. Just having a little trouble with my monitor. Never had that problem here before. I don't know what I did wrong. Okay, over to some space station passes. Got a little bit of a mix this week with the ISS and the tie-in gong. So here we go. Tonight, May 31st, ISS, 10:11 p.m. enters, 10:16 p.m. exits. Enters from the west, exits out the south. Maximum elevation, 24 degrees, with a magnitude of a negative 2.8. So that's pass number one. Pass number two is the ISS, and I'll make a note to everybody here. This is the last pass until June 22nd, by the way, for this area. So they're going to be in a different part of the Earth, and we'll get them back around that time there. So anyhow, today's pass ISS, Thursday, June 1st, 9:23 p.m. enters, 9:26 p.m. exits. Enters from the west-northwest, exits out the south-southeast. Has a maximum elevation of 42 degrees, a magnitude of a negative 3.7. Pass number three is the tie-in gong, and that'll be Friday, June 2nd. Enters at 5:15. Now it says PM, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be AM. I think it's a typo on my part. I'll double check that. Let's just call it AM. If it's different, I'll get back with you. 5:15 AM, and exits at 5:21 AM. Enters from the southwest, exits out the east. A 47-degree maximum elevation, and a magnitude of a 1.5. And I was trying to explain this just a little bit. You got negative magnitudes and positive magnitudes. The more negative it is, the brighter it is. So this is a positive, not quite as bright as the ISS stuff will be. So a magnitude of a 1.5, that would be a positive magnitude. Okay, and the last one I've got for this series is a tie-in gong again, and that's a week from today, June 7th. And that's at 5:13 a.m. Exits at 5:20 a.m. Enters from the west, exits out the east. This is a neck breaker, 88 when you're outside, you got some clear skies. All right, got them all jotted down. Dan, thank you very much for all the nice passes here. All right, we're going to go to Bob in a second. Before we do, let's take a quick check here. Anybody else would like to check in to the North Central Ohio Information Traffic Net or any returning stations, call out. plane crash near Virginia. All right. Again, anybody got any questions or comments or need anything repeated on Bob's info? Call now. Thank you very much, Bob. Appreciate all that work putting that together. WAAJBT in the net, WBREI, and the North Central Ohio Information 500 Motor Speedway special event station. And looking forward to getting a card from those guys too. So both of those are in the mail. Got to work a lot of wires X over the weekend. Talked to my son, grandson, some other guys in and around the Columbus, Ohio area. Even some guys back this way in the Findlay area. And we've been connected up to the Ohio Link Wires X room. And the Ohio Link network of repeaters is a really nice group of repeaters all around Ohio and even down in southeastern Michigan. So if you got Wires X capability and you have not connected to the Ohio Link network, give them a shot. They got lots of good stuff, lots of good people on there talking, and it's a really, really nice Wires X network. So I had a good time doing that. We even made a couple attempts at working the crossband FM repeater on the International Space Station. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. And got to populate the APRS map via the International Space Station, which is a neat thing to see if you've never seen that. And the space station flies overhead. All of a sudden you see all kinds of APRS locations popping up on your map. It's kind of neat if you've never seen that before. Usually the software is free or very inexpensive for APRS and amateur radio. Maybe you need a TNC or an APRS capable radio. And fire it up, listen for the ISS at 145.825. It's like your own private satellite, low Earth orbiting satellite going overhead. REI, just continuing here, wanted to take a look at some of the information listed here in the Ohio section news. I know Tom, our Ohio section manager, he was really busy. I know he was down at the Dayton Ham convention this year giving some talks and presentations and all that kind of stuff. Just get back and get things back up to speed here on the Ohio section news. One of the things I see listed there that may be of interest to you guys. I always follow anything that has to do with Marconi is kind of a thing I always like to follow along with. We were talking quite a bit about special event stations here. Bob covers all those. There's a nice one coming up having to do with Marconi. Actually, Marconi's yacht. It will be on the air, Marconi's yacht, from June the 10th through the 11th. With the special event call sign will be India Yankee 4 Echo Lima Echo. Kind of interesting. It says for the past 9 years, the amateur radio station Fidenza, which is the Italian Amateur Radio Association, has celebrated a technical and cultural event for the Guglielmo Marconi Foundation at Villa Grafone in Potecchio Marconi, Bologna, Italy. Boy, that's a mouthful. That's Guglielmo Marconi's birthplace. The purpose of the event is to highlight at an international level the historical value and meaning of Marconi's yacht, the Elettra, which was the moving laboratory of the great Italian scientist. Marconi did a lot of his research on the Elettra, his personal yacht. Several important radio communications experiments were conducted on board the yacht by Marconi during the interwar period. And to wrap it up, it says over the event weekend, amateur radio operators from around the world will have a chance to contact India Yankee 4 Echo Lima Echo, which will be operated by ARI Fidenza Club members via a radio station located near the keel of the Elettra. And if you want more information about that, you can go to www.arifidenza.it or you can go to the Ohio Section News new hands get more comfortable on the air. So their next net is going to be Sunday, June 11th. And again, that begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you got some young kids or whatever, and you got access to the Cat Ohio repeater, an echoing note, like, give them a shout. I'm sure they'd love to hear from somebody. REI for identification. All right, here. Anybody that was following along a while back here, we're talking quite a bit about the Bovade Island de-expedition. And anybody that may have attempted to make contact with the de-expedition was probably aware of an issue called DQRM. DQRM, which stands for, if you didn't know it, deliberate interference or deliberate QRM. This is kind of neat here. The Northern California DX Foundation, we hear them giving out funds for all different kinds of amateur radio projects. Anyway, they are recognizing or have recognized the negative impact deliberate QRM is having on our hobby. Now, I just mentioned Bovade Island as one example of deliberate QRM issues, but there have been others. Interesting. It says, we believe this is a problem that can be mitigated by amateur radio operators applying their vast knowledge and creativity to the advanced receiving and direction finding technology currently available. In order to spur research into solving this problem, the NCDXF Board of Directors at their April 2023 board meeting allocated $100,000 for grants to develop deliberate QRM solutions. The Northern California DX Foundation will entertain grant proposals from individuals or groups that specifically outline their approach to identify bad actors. A group of NCDXF directors led by Craig Thompson, K9 Charlie Tango, and Don Greenbaum, November 1 Delta Golf, will weigh the probability of success of their proposals as well as monitor the progress of the grantees. So funding will be available for research and development as well as implementation of technology proposals. It is hoped that manufacturers will also assist NCDXF and grantees with equipment and other resources. NCDXF will shortly outline specifics for how to apply for this deliberate QRM grant. It's actually grant. We have created a webpage devoted to this project, DQRM Project. And it's a long link. You can find it on page 43 of the Ohio DX News. So you could, that kind of is something that might interest you and you are a creative person. Why you might have some ideas about how to deal with deliberate QRM on HF radio. You might want to look into that. Again, you can find the link and more information on page 43 of the latest edition of the Ohio Section News. WPAREI, this is the North Central Ohio Information Traffic Net. Let's see, I got a few updates, one in particular to do with the AM broadcast radios in our vehicles. You see that in the news a lot lately, and we've talked about it numerous times, so we have another little update. Let me identify. This is the WPAREI asking for AM broadcast radio's retention as a public safety measure. Ford CEO Jim Farley announced on social media that the reversal comes after discussions with government policy leaders who believe the elimination of AM broadcast radio in vehicles will cut motorists off from essential emergency alerts transmitted on those frequencies. Was on to say the CEO wrote on Twitter that all 2024 Ford and Lincoln vehicles would include AM radio. He added, quote, for any owners of Ford EVs without AM broadcast capability, will offer a software update, end quote, and the update would restore AM functionality. Now, the U.S. Federal Communications Commission has also thrown its support behind the proposal legislation that seeks to halt the trend toward automakers' removal of AM broadcast in U.S. vehicles. The bill introduced May 17th is known as the AM for Every Vehicle Act. The FCC cannot regulate what automakers do, but was nonetheless vocal about the value of AM radio and what it has, or its value for motorists who may need to receive emergency alerts while they're on the road. Other manufacturers, including Volvo, Tesla, and BMW, have indicated they were dropping AM radio for their new electric cars because of interference between the vehicle's electrical operating systems and the AM broadcast band. Now, the Associated Press did not immediately receive comment from the other car makers.
Spend more money on your shielding.
So the bill's opponents, including the Alliance for Automotive Innovation, which represents U.S. automakers, called the AM radio proposal unnecessary. They said that the United States warning system, operated by FEMA, can also deliver safety warnings by other means, such as FM broadcast, satellite, and cellular networks. There you go, just a little update. We're just following what's happening with the AM radio in the cars, and we kind of keep up with that. Your things go back and forth on that, but just to kind of keep everybody in the loop. WBAREI, this is the North Central Ohio Information and Traffic Net. Wanted to take a quick look here at on a note here about the FCC, which will be revisiting spectrum allocations. That's always interesting, you know, the AM radio operators always want to kind of keep an eye on what they're up to there. So in June, the U.S. Federal Communications Commission will revisit ways the radio spectrum can be utilized more efficiently and study the proposed testing of a few uses on part of the 42 gigahertz band in the so-called green field spectrum. So we're learning a little new terminology here. Green field spectrum refers to the part of the spectrum that is unutilized. The FCC's focus has been intensifying on this along with other parts of the spectrum because of the growing demand for its use by emergency wireless services and limited places to authorize their operation. DC Chairman Jessica Rosenworcel announced this plan in the Commission's June agenda, posting her message on the agency website on May 17th. She said the 42 gigahertz band was an apt place for conducting experiments with various spectrum access models because of the absence of licensed users there. To wrap it up, meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden has nominated a longtime telecom lawyer for the government to join the FCC. Anna Gomez must still be confirmed by the Senate. The president's previous and some information on the Icon 7300, which we're going to talk about here toward the end of the net. But before we do, I came across, I thought it was pretty neat, an Icon 7300 community giveaway. I don't, I'm not an endorser of the Icon 7300 or anything having to do with this other group called homebrewcoffee.com, but I came across this and thought I'd share it with you guys in case you haven't seen it or heard of it. And so in an effort to stimulate growth and foster a stronger sense of community within the amateur radio world, Whiskey 3, Bravo India Zulu is teaming up with homebrewcoffee.com, the premier coffee choice of amateur radio enthusiasts, to host an exciting giveaway. So this spectacular opportunity is set to offer one lucky participant a free Icon 7300 amateur radio. Not only is the giveaway a great chance to win an incredible prize, but also serves as a platform to promote camaraderie and engagement within the amateur radio community. The goal of this initiative is twofold, according to W3BIZ. We want to increase the visibility and appeal of the amateur radio world, and we're looking to grow our social media following to bring the community even closer. This content represents an extraordinary opportunity for new entrants to join the hobby, existing enthusiasts to upgrade their equipment, or for anyone interested in the world of amateur radio. The Icon 7300 is renowned for its advanced features and performance capabilities, making it a prized possession for any amateur radio aficionado. Well, if you're wondering, well, how do you get in on that? Well, to be in with a chance of winning this fantastic prize, all participants need to do is enter the drawing on freehamradio.com. It's all one word, freehamradio.com. The winner will be announced in a live drawing on June 30th, offering participants plenty of time to register for their chance to win. We're just about done here. The giveaway is sponsored by homebrewcoffee.com, a brand that is loved and trusted by the amateur radio community for its premium coffee. Stay tuned to W3BIZ's social media channels for updates, news, and possibly more exciting announcements. It's a great chance to become a part of a thriving community while enjoying your favorite brew. Right, and I have no part in the homebrewcoffee.com people or the company. So again, this is not an endorsement or anything like that. Just some information I thought would be interesting to share and pass along to you guys. times. However, it is fun, it is exciting, it is definitely doable, but pretty tough to do with a 5-watt HT all by itself. Not impossible, just, as long as you're skilled and you know where to move your portable around and how to listen, how to transmit, and with some luck, you gotta have some luck in that case because you're gonna need to try to get through on a time when there aren't a whole lot of other stations, especially stronger ones, trying to get through the repeater at the same time you are. So if you're lucky, it's quiet, it's not busy, some really way off time or a day that's not a holiday weekend, something like that, your odds with an HT are going to be quite, drastically improved. WB and REI just identifying here and continuing on here with our International Space Station crossband FM repeater experiences here. So, like everybody else, I look on YouTube and there's all kinds of cool videos on people doing successful crossband FM repeater contacts via the International Space Station. And so the first one I watched was amazing. The guy gets on there and he's got a little carrying case with his equipment. His radio equipment's actually in it, and it's just kind of hung over his neck there. And he's got his microphone coming out, and his coax goes out to his dual band Yagi, and he's working these stations. He's worked like 3 or 4 of them, one right after the other. It's really impressive. I'm thinking to myself, wow, that's amazing, and he gets his call sign and his grid square pretty quickly, which you got to do, but not too fast. He's pretty measured, and he does an excellent job. But later on in the video, what I found out is there's a couple things that he had pointed out that give him a great advantage. And by advantage, I mean a big advantage over someone operating just with a 5-watt portable HT. So the first thing, of course, is he's using a dual band Yagi antenna, and I'll talk about the model number that he was using here in a minute. But so he's got this antenna that's got on UHF, I think it's like maybe 9 dB a gain and maybe 6 dB a gain on VHF, and so he's got some gain there for sure. So if it was 6 dB a gain on VHF, that would be what? That'd be 20 watts ERP. So he's got to capture FM receiver on the crossband repeater way before anybody with a 5-watt portable is going to get through. Watt portable and an HT. Just continuing on here, this is highest elevation angle, you'll be at the actual receive frequency of 437.800. Again, as it moves away, then you start dropping down a frequency to 437.795, and then finally out to the horizon of 437.790. Now, some people even do a little bit of an offset on your transmit frequency on VHF. However, it's not really necessary. On VHF, the Doppler shift is not drastic. It's not very noticeable, and so you can just set your transmitter frequency in each of those memory channels for 145.990 on all four channels, all five channels. And you got to remember to make sure you have your PLN code frequency of 67 hertz, or you'll never get through. WP8REI, just identifying here on the North Central Ohio Information and Traffic Net. So, just a couple tidbits here. The particular antenna that gentleman was using in the video I watched was a Moonraker, the Yankee Golf 27-35. It's a dual band, high spec 2-meter and 70-centimeter Yagi. DX Engineering's got it for $115.99, about $116. Again, you can read all the specs. You know, when you're looking for an antenna like that, you want to keep weight in mind because you're holding it in your hand. You know, you make a little piece of PVC there to mount it to, and you grasp that PVC, and so that can fatigue you a little bit. So weight might be important too. The ability maybe to break down the boom, if you want to pack it in a case and carry it portable somewhere, could be important. In some cases, they only make a solid boom, or you can't do that, so that might be something you want to consider if you're looking at a dual band Yagi. This particular antenna has its own built-in duplexer, so that coming from the duplexer, which is mounted on this particular antenna, you only need one coax. Of course, you want to use low loss, lightweight, flexible cable, and so you would only need one coax then to run to your radio. Now, in some cases, if you had just a dual band antenna and a radio like this particular radio I mentioned, the ICOM 2730, that radio actually has a built-in duplexer. And so if you just had a dual band antenna, you wouldn't need an external duplexer. Just bringing that all, just kind of hitting some of the things that you would consider, you know, when you're looking at antennas and how to operate the International Space Station. I also wanted to mention that the gentleman in the video was using headphones, which makes sense. You know, headphones and just an external speaker mic that he used to talk on. And so his hands were pretty busy. I mean, you know, he had to hold the antenna with one hand. He had to key the mic with the other hand. And then at times, he would set the mic down and switch channels to compensate for Doppler. So you got to really be on your toes. It's a challenge. It's exciting. It's a lot of fun. And hopefully some of these things that I mentioned here this morning might help you out if you're trying to make an attempt to do that. Bio-NO battery is also what he was using. Had in his little carrying case that he hung over his back here, this little case. He had the 12-amp hour Bio-NO battery powering up his ICOM 2730. And he even had a little recorder tied in there. He had, I think, a Y adapter off that receive audio. And so he was recording all of his contacts. But again, the biggest point that they made in that video was the ability to hear your own signal coming down from the ISS. Again, which allows you to always keep your antenna pointed on the ISS. It was the best way to do it, and they said that was the way to go. We're going to get off that topic here before we do. Any questions or comments? Anybody got anything they want to add to that, straighten me out on, or maybe some experience engineering website there and just search under Daiwa, D-A-I-W-A. Again, they make a whole bunch of different model cross needle SWR power meters. And you can see the fronts of the face, what the meter panel looks like. And you'll see the two needles. One indicates the forward power. The other needle indicates the reflected power. And then where the two needles cross, right where they cross, that point right there, you can line up with the SWR graph. So again, that allows you to see all three of those most important parameters simultaneously when you're transmitting. Now, another nice feature of the Daiwa cross needle SWR power meters, most of them have the ability to read not only average power, but also peak envelope power for single sideband. And so that's really nice. And so take a look at them. You'll see they come in different frequency ranges, different power ranges. Some of them have panel lights or switches. Some you don't. You don't have a switch for the panel light. You have to add one yourself, which is kind of strange. But some have the ability to hold the peak envelope power rating. You can actually hold it, and some don't. And so you want to look at all those different capabilities when you're looking at them. But if you've never seen one, take a look, learn a little bit about it, and who knows, you may Nikon 7300. What the part number is, whether or not you can find them on the internet, and if you can, how much they sell for. Just some interesting stuff. All right. I have nothing else other than to mention, boy, I always bring up one more thing. Don't forget, to check out or Google shortwave radiogram when you get a chance. If you enjoy listening to shortwave radio and you would like to try to listen and decode a digital shortwave radio broadcast, that particular program, shortwave radiogram, is excellent. And you can do it just using FL Digi and just your sound card, the line input to your sound card connected to the speaker output of your radio. I mean, it's a real simple physical hookup. There's not a lot to it. Definitely check that out. Also along the way, if you'd like to listen to the greatest hits of all time and some of the great DJs on shortwave radio, tune in to 5.050 megahertz AM. That's WRMI Legends. It used to be WTWW until they went off the air. And so now all those guys are on WRMI Legends, which is out of Miami, Florida, where the studios are at. The actual transmitter sites, big transmitter sites and antennas, are in Okeechobee, Florida. All right, so coming up this weekend, I gotta mention the contest calendar here real quick. Always this time of the year, man, there's so many things going on. Lots of QSO parties. Kentucky QSO party is going to be going on June 3rd and 4th this weekend. The RSGB has their CW Field Day this weekend, June 3rd and 4th. The International Amateur Radio Communications Region 1, which I think Region 1 is Europe. Their field day is June 3rd and 4th this weekend. Some of the other big events that are coming up June 3rd and 4th this weekend. Man, if you're a digital HF radio person, the American Radio Relay League has their ARRL I don't know if that's international, it just says digital contest. So go take a look at that if you'd like to work the digital modes and what that contest is all about. It's pretty new. And again, that'll be this June 3rd and 4th this weekend. Also, let's see, June the 10th and the 11th is the ARRL June VHF QSO party. That's kind of an interesting one. I've never worked that one before, but that's coming up. And we talked about the kids. June 17th is the American Radio Relay League's Kids Day contest. If you got some little ones or whatever, give them a chance to get on the air, just goof around and have a little bit of fun and just watch the control of the radio. You never know, you just might spark some interest in one of the younger kids there. So again, ARRL Kids Day contest, June 17th. Virginia QSO party, June 17th and 18th. Stu Perry Top Band Challenge for the 160-meter guys, June 17th and 18th. And let's see here. Oh, geez, how can we forget, right? ARRL Field Day, June 24th and 25th. Going all the way in the middle of July, the 15th and the 16th. This is a CQ Worldwide VHF contest. So tons and tons of radio stuff going on. So get on the radio, have some fun. Seneca Radio Club's going to be operating Field Day this year out at Meadowbrook Park. We'll have more to say about that in the upcoming weeks. Before I close, anybody want to make any announcements? Any final comments, queries, anything for the good of this net? Call now. Okay, everybody's quiet. Thank you, Ron, KETX, for being our HF liaison station this morning. Thank you, Bob, for all the VE test sessions and all the Hamfest and special event station information. Thank you to Dan for the weather information, all the ISS and Tiangong passes. Thanks to Pat for the use of the repeater. And thanks to Lenny, NEXLQ, for the YouTube channel. Make sure you take a look at that. It's really, really
XLQ, clear.